Hi, welcome to Enterprise Wednesday. My name is Dr. Bay from Enterprise at APU. With me today, our student co-moderator, William, and of course, the speaker himself, Mr. Michael Chin from GPS Fleet. Now, allow me to do this very important introduction of the speaker, as I was told to do the introductions for a matter of fact. Now, Michael is a graduate from University of Nottingham with a master's degree in electronics engineering. And he also has a vast experience in providing software services before he actually started up GPS Fleet in year 2018. He's very passionate about using technology to improve human effectiveness, focusing a lot of effort in research and development. Now, in our session today, Michael will be sharing with us his journey through the experience of a startup life with its ups and downs and the pros and cons. Now, allow me to invite Mr. Michael to share with us his thoughts for the day. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Bear, Dr. Bear, for the introduction, and nice talking to you, Mr. William, and of course the audience, the one that's sitting in the room. Hi, yes, and of course the one that is currently watching us live. Nice meeting you all. Yeah, and before I started this conversation talking about our journey on my startup. So I just want to share like some stories like when I get invited, when I see this event, I see these invitations like from Dr. Bear and Dr. Angelina. So he initiated this thing. And I think it's a very good for me, like previously as a student and now as a startup entrepreneurs, to give back to the school, to share some of the thoughts and some of the journeys that I've been got through lah. So I think it will be a great share up and walk you through the 5-year progress that I will share later with you all. Okay. Can bring up the slides. Okay. The title is very interesting. The journey of hitting 1 million revenues. You might think this is a very exciting, talking about a lot of grammars, but then in fact we'll talk about the true reflections of you running a startup. So it can be pretty scary at some point of time, like throughout the slides, and it can be fun and rewarding as well. And we're trying to make this event a bit chill and a bit interactive from the live audience here, and of course with the online audience. Is that okay for you all? Okay, that's good. So to kickstart the conversation, so a lot of people ask me, "Oh, how's your startup life? I've been through like 2 years MCO, never see you in person. They're like, how's your startup life?" So I'm not too sure whether you all see this picture in Facebook or not. Like this kind of pictures. So he actually talking about a picture of a working people and a picture of the entrepreneurs that has been start up currently. So as you can see on the stage, like we have person 1, person 2, and person 3. So which one is the inflated balloon? Maybe he's doing startup.
That's a very good one, Michael.
Does it come from stress eating or what?
Yeah. So that's very true. William have a very good point. So it's actually a lot of stress. But then I will share more about some of the attributes, and this part is not true for every startup, but it just coincidentally I'm in that shape lah. So don't worry if you plan to do startup, it will be a different story. Okay. Okay, so let's right now go into the details on my transition journey. I specifically choose a range of period of year that I was still in my year 3, and after my year 3 graduation, I actually take 4 years, 4 year course in master in electronic engineering. So I will talk about my year 3, my year 4, my year one in startup, year 2 in startup, and year 3 in startup. Yeah, and of course, in later stage, it's already showed in the slides. We did hit the 1 million revenue in last year, but that I think that not is that one not is not the main point on today's presentation. Today's presentation is more on the true reflections on, like, should you consider doing startup after graduation? Should you look at, like, how are you evaluating the option, like, for you to consider to be a startup or not? So these tips may help you, um, or this tip may scare you away. I don't know, but then let's hear it from my journeys. Okay, to make it even more interactive, I come up with a very I think a very to make it more interesting, I make it into like a life journey walk through together. So today, we imagine you were me, back in my 2015 years, and I'm also student, same like what you are here today, sitting here and listening a startup, and now you become me and walking through the whole journey of this 5 year. Is that cool, everyone? It's good. Can you give a clap? Okay. Okay. So for the online audience, let's do this as well. So in every slides, I have a MCQ, like multiple choice questions, and when I put up the questions, then you will answer A, B, or C. Then you can just type in your comments. Then I think we will see it. If then in the live audience, so I will put up the choice, and then after I will say, then if you then I will say A. Then you think my answer is A. Then you just raise up your hand. I say B. You think it's B. Then you raise up your hand. You will see C. Then you just raise up your hand. So you will take the poll on what your answer. Maybe have an award for you, no, a prize for you at the end of the section if you answer the most most question correct. And let's start. Okay. So now I starting my whole journey. Now I'm back in 2015 as a student. At that time, I'm a master of electronics students, as a DINDIS student as well. So I'm very focused on this academic, and I also society, a student club society members, engineering society members. And on that time, the university have a startup competition. So we participated in that startup competition, and we won the startup competition. And here is the junction that I need to choose. So the first junction A is to decide to work on the startup during the summer break. So our summer break is like from June to September. So every year we have a summer break during that time. So it's our break. And B is, I wrote this very cool thing. I won the startup competition and start applying internship at the MNC companies during my summer breaks. Or C, I just do nothing about it and just forget about it. So how many of you? A, B, C? Okay, so most of you have choose B, but what I did is I chose A. So what I did is I decided to work on it during the summer. So what I did is I recruit some members. Like we won the startup competition. We have some fundings like around 20 over thousand. So during the summer, I just hired a few intern. When I say a few intern, it's actually my classmate lah. So I just hired my classmate, let's work on it together and make it work to a success.
Do you mind if I comment? on that?
Yes.
So, in my opinion, when you've actually won a competition from the start of, from not the start of weekend, sorry, that's for APU, but for your competition, it clearly shows that there's a huge potential for your business. And for you to just sleep on something like that is one of the biggest mistakes that somebody would make. Secondly, somebody can just easily steal your idea and you really can't do anything about it. So I usually would I start off by eliminating, so I'll definitely go between A or B. I think personally I would have chosen B because of the kind of experience that I would still want to gain before actually moving on with my startup
Yeah.
business.
So it's very true. What was my thinking process behind that time is, I had the idea win already, so I want to prove it works. So that's some of the spirit that I have. I want to make it work. I don't want just stop there, winning the prize, but then I want to make it a real thing. So that's why I push for that. And just now we talk about like scaring people, stealing away the ideas. I think idea worth nothing until it get executed. A lot of people have ideas like Grab, like all these things, ride hailing. Everyone can think about it, but then who able to execute it right? I think is a key element of it. So and I think by sharing ideas, you will attract people that they are they have similar idea as well, and we will partner it up and work together to make it a success. Is a key to the success. That's what I see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can I go next? Okay. Okay. Next question. Good try, all of you. Try harder. December 2015. So in March 2015, I already won the startup competition and I start working on the startups. I start working on the products. And 2015, after a few months working on product during the summer break, it doesn't work. The product sucks. It cannot jalan. It cannot grow up and launch in the market. And overdue deadlines, because I signed out a contract with the university for the university to buy my software. And it have a deadline. It is supposed to I supposed to deliver by September, but now it's already December. It's on the Christmas Eve. Why I delay? Because I say to school, because I'm still working on my homeworks. I'm still working on my assignment. Okay, school forgive me, give me a very lenient deadlines and allow me to extend to December. So now it's December. So I have three choices right now. A, stay back and fix it throughout the Christmas and New Year holidays. So I cannot go back home and continue to stay at school to fix it. B, walk away and just give up the project. Or this is just too hard. I don't want to care about it anymore. Just give up. C, tell the school, now it's Christmas break, give me more time. Next year I come back to you. Confirm work one. Get more time and extend to fix it. Okay. So everyone ready? Who say I get A? Okay. B? C? Okay. So what did actually happen is A. I actually stay back and fix it throughout the Christmas together with my business partner as well. He's just sitting there. So he's my tech CTO, my tech guy, like doing all the work together. So you are writing algorithms, rewrite the algorithms just to make sure it works. So the algorithm that I would write is the bus routine scheduling algorithm to see how to match the GPS data and the ETA of the buses. So that was something that I did on that time. Okay. Any questions from the moderators?
Now, I must comment on that, right? I guess it's a huge sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. And of course, it's also about the how we manage the time, right? Being a student, I can totally understand. You are so looking forward towards the year-end holiday and whatnot, and if of course at the same time you are given a decision where you have to make up your mind. It's a huge thing for me. Either I make it or I screw it. So I guess it's also a judgment where we will need to make at certain juncture. Not only in any startup journey, I would say in any at any stages in our life. It's a tough call where we just need to call the shot, right?
Very true. So sometimes you just need to make it through lah. So you will just die make it through. That's the spirit. If you are in startups, so okay. I will go next. June 2016, graduated as a first class honor. What's next for me? A, go for work and travel in US. B, directly kickstart the startup. C, get a job at MNC companies. All my colleagues are in, all my classmates are in Intel, Motorola, Agilent, you name it, all the electronic firms. So which one I choose? A, B, C. Okay. I take A. I actually go for a break. That time why I did do the A, because I'm always very admire how the Silicon Valley works. So I always want to go to US. I always want to go to MIT. One of my dream school. One of my dream. There are top prestigious engineering school in the world. So I always want to go there. So I purposely choose a work and travel area nearby Boston, US. So I actually attended one of the hackathons that is happening in Boston. I not just attend, but then I participate in one of the programming hackathon as well. That's how I learn with other US programmers on how they actually do the tech thing and just learn what the language they use. Then I just bring back and do the same in Malaysia as well.
Okay, just a quick question regarding education. So, how much of your education, of your studies, contributed to your startup? And, for students like me and others here, how can we make the best of what university has to offer? How can we take advantage or exploit university?
Actually, I self-learn the programming language. I'm the we do have a software class like in our year one, like C programming. But obviously C programming cannot do apps, mobile apps, right? Yeah. So I actually self-learn it in my year two. So how I do it that time is because I'm the student chapter committees. So I just organize like events. Let's do programming courses this semester. So every semester I put up besides academic goal, I also put up a learning goal, like what I want to learn, and I want to make it more interesting. So I gather around people, a few people that are also interested in this area. So we learn it together. So that's how you navigate on how to build the team, like to build to do the things together lah. And in fact, because of that, like during my summer project, doing the startup, the people that working for the startup is actually the student that are interested in the programming classes. So we study together, learn together, and then we move into this startup programming. They help us up in this together.
Okay, so you get your connections.
Yes. You must get some friends with mutual interest. So you can like engage them to do more things together. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, September 2016, after the 3-month work and travel in US, I back from US. What's next? A, Follow other classmates, same, just go work at the MNC companies. B, do some freelance work and at the same time figuring out the startup business model. C, move back to hometown and to work with my parents. So who said A? B, C. So my decision is on B. So I did the freelance work and at the same time trying to think how my initial projects can turn up into a real startups that can be profitable. Yeah. I just saw some question pop up, is it, or some comments pop up
I
in
think
the
it's a
screen?
comment.
Some comment pop up in the screen. Okay. So, any questions?
I mean, more for me, it's more of a comment because you need to look back at the sacrifices that you made in December 2015, and that should really motivate you to keep on doing have what you've wanted to do, and realize that this is your goal, and you have to take all means to achieve that goal. Otherwise, it will all be for nothing. You just can't give up just that easily.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So I did that, but then in the same time, I have to do some freelance work to subsidize, sort of like subsidize my startups at that time. Okay, let's move next. February 2017. So the idea gets solid already, get solidified. So the business model is up, but no funding. Okay. A, talk to parents and relatives to ask for funding. B, talk to friends to ask for funding. C, talk to lecturer to ask for funding. A, B, C. Oh, yeah. So the answer is C.
Oh.
So I actually talked to lecturer, and I'm very lucky. So one of my professor in my class actually sponsor me. Actually, they because they see me keep working on the startups, so he actually not really sponsor. They invest in my companies. So that's the starting point on get this ball rolling. I did not get any penny from my parents. They did not give me any money. But then he said, figure it out yourself. You want to do this, you figure it yourself. So they did not give me any money. Friend, I talked to friend, but then of course, obviously, they have not enough money to give me as well. So I'm very lucky. So my lecturer actually invested in us. Okay. Any comments, thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that, right,
Yeah.
Michael? Yeah. So I guess the idea of how to to really secure funding. I mean, of course, that involves also meeting the right people, and of course, how we actually pitch it and storytell, right? What actually you are working on. And I suppose it's no brainer, right? I mean, for you to reach out to friends, within your classmates, which we all know they probably just get started when it comes to getting their first job, nailing their first job,
Yeah.
and getting on with their a head start into their career and whatnot and whatsoever the commitment. Well, I do appreciate the fact that the parents and relatives will always be the source of first line of whatever the support that we can call it, be it emotional or financial, right? So I mean, nonetheless, like you were saying, so although without much funding from the family members, but you were so decisive to move on ahead, and yes, I mean the effort that you have put in, I mean, impressed basically whoever who have been following you. So I guess the point here that we want to make is that just keep trying and believe in what you are trying to achieve, right? And yes, so having the right connections and meeting the right people is important so that you strike your first round of funding, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a small fund lah. I call it the angel investor fund lah.
Just a quick question. Did you
Yeah.
have people around you that discouraged you from this kind of friends or graduates that had, this negative opinion about your business idea that you had, told them about? And did that either motivate you or demotivate you to even try harder?
They do. Some of them do have honest opinion. They think it doesn't work, but for me, if I just continue to believe, to see how to make it better. So that's the spirit. I'm not like get demotivated. I will start thinking how to make it better. Something wrong with this, or how to make it better. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They require a lot of try and error thing to make it through, to make it into a very solid ideas. Okay. In August 2017, people get interested in the business idea and want to join the business as well. So 3 options. A, I reject them to join the business because I want to have full control over the company. B, I come up with a partnership agreement and invite them to join. C, I partner them up and register them in the company. A, B, C. Okay. So what did happen is C. Because that time I don't have lawyer friend. I don't know how to draft a proper partnership agreement. That's a big mistake. One of the mistakes that I made, but it happens. So I just partner them up, then I just register them in the company. I don't know what's the correct process at that time. Any thoughts, comments?
Yeah, coming to that point, right? So, well, it was unfortunate of you sharing with us, right, what actually you have been through. But nonetheless, I guess at the end of the day, being a startup, we always want to keep our options open, right? Yes, and as and when we meet people, we speak to them and listen to them what they have to offer to us, right? Because it's all about what we have got to offer and what they are willing to give. So I suppose there is no bad decision at the end of the day. So I suppose you do not regret your decision at all. So it was just at that particular juncture, right, that you were given this option.
Actually, I do regret about that option, but in the later story it will shows. But we will keep that first. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah. So my point is that it's also part of the learning curve, right?
Yes, it's a learning curve.
Being a startup. So,
Correct.
well, as and when the entrepreneurship at in university startup ecosystem is maturing, we have put in place ensuring that the right support, the educations, and what sort of the learning materials are out there to make
the
sure
legal
that,
support, it's very important.
so to make sure that they are available, and to our student audience here, from wherever you're dialing in, please do reach out to any of your lecturers who you think would be able to offer you some sort of advice or point of view. Please do not be shy to ask any questions if you are ever in doubt, right? I mean, like what Michael has been sharing with us. So he wasn't sure what to do back then, but he ended up just decided to take that particular step, right?
Yeah. Okay, next. February 2018, I get an MBA offer. So A, should I reject them and walk away from the offer because I want to focus on the business? B, accept the offer and quit the business. C, accept the offer and manage the business in parallel. A, B, C. Yeah. So my decision is C. So at that time, it was a tough decision as well, because when I make this decision, so some of my team, they think that that this whole thing are not mature enough. So some of the teammates actually quit from the startup as well. So it left the whole team a smaller size, and be more a smaller, more lean team, like a smaller team, so that we grow slow. We grow slower at that time actually. And why I did take the MBA, because I'm from the engineering background, and I need some business know-how onto how to do it right, how to do it properly. So that was a decision that I made at that time lah. But then of course it actually add up a lot of my time to manage both things to parallel. So a lot of times I'm almost burned up. I think most of the time I was burned up, and I start getting my weight, yeah, gaining my size. That's the time I start gaining my size.
So how many hours, I mean, a day would you spend focusing on your business compared to, and how many hours you be focusing on school?
So the MBA course, sometimes they have like a full day lecture, like 9 to 6. So he crashed with my working hours, right? So what happened is, like during my MBA course, during the break time, like lunch break time, I will always do appointment with our customer during the lunch break time. So I will go up and meet the customer, and then I will come back to the classes. And in some of the time that I need to go for event or need to pitch to a very important customer, then I will excuse myself from the class and go up to do the pitching and to do the closing for the sales lah. And you have to be very good relationship with the one that taking attendance. Very important. So you are it's not a good thing, but then I just make it through lah, for the whole MBA course. Yeah.
Did you have time for yourself?
That's a very good question. So most of my time, like classes they have assignment and homeworks, and sometimes they have like team group group assignment. That's the most headache one. Yeah, so I have to like do it at the night, and also whenever I am been in the same team with my like like my classmate, I have to tell them, I will have in this situation, will you able to accept me as a group member having this situation with me? So they will be more for, they are very willing to forgive me because they're very interested in what I do also. So they will always ask, what's your progress, all these things. And in fact, like when I do pitch for my first corporate investment, my seed funding is from my MBA classmate. So one of my MBA classmate, he is like financial analyst. So he doing for listed company to help them to look at their financial, do the financial projection and what's the evaluation of the company. So I mean, for me, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So I just asked him for help, and he helped me to evaluate my company, and then I submit that document to my investor to do my first seed funding. If without him, my seed funding also cannot really get through lah. I don't have the knowledge of doing all these things also. So like putting in yourself in the right situations, the right ecosystem, you get a lot of helps from your classmates sometimes. Okay. Next. October 2018, I got the first corporate investment seed funding. What's next? A, ramp up the hiring to do sales and product development. B, start raising our salary. C, exit the startup. A, B, C. Okay. I'm very tempted to do B, but I did A actually. As expected lah. But it's a good thing. So I finally see money coming in when I feel like when you have a lot of money in your hand, if you don't budget it properly, it can be you can spend very very fast. You can just simply like buy something that you think is necessary, but it's not necessary. Yeah. So have a financial controller to do the budgeting properly, to control your outflow of money is very, very important. So to prevent misuse of the money, that is one of the lessons that we learn throughout the when we get funding as well. So we don't simply spend the money. So we have to learn how to use it properly. Any question, comments, thoughts?
So coming to the point that you managed to secure your first corporate investment, right? So
Yeah.
how did that happen? I mean, what was done?
I was keep pitching my business idea, and I attended a lot of this startup competition.
Right.
And I get noticed by one of the Malaysia telco company. They are very interested to work with us,
Right.
but then we don't have the right credential at that time because we just like very small startup only. Then we need a backing from a corporate. Then we talk to this corporate, and they agree to invest in us because they're also good friend with the telco company management people as well.
Right.
So everything become very easy now. So they just link us up, and then they just fund us at that time. So that's how we get the first corporate investment. So it's like you have something on one hand, you got something at the other hand, and you have nothing in between, and you are asking from there to pass to there, and you become the person that getting the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's like you having some supply, having some demands, but then you control the supply and demands. Then you get the money.
Right. Right.
Okay. June 2019, conflict among the team. How to resolve? Big fight happening in the team. A, watch the power struggle in the team and have a neutral stand. I don't care, you all fight yourself. B, confront each member and try to improve the communication between the team. C, exercise my majority votes to sack the team that is not cooperating. That I don't like. I just set you up for my team. Okay. A, B, C. Okay. So I was taking B. I'll confront each of them and trying to talk through the situations and trying to see how to resolve this. It's very interesting when you see different departments are fighting each other. Like everyone have their own standpoint. Like no one is wrong. Everyone is correct. Everyone will have a very solid point to stand. No one is wrong. Everyone is defending. But as a leader, this is the time that will test your how's your leadership. How are you resolve this thing? Like how do you all bring them up? Like not splitting them up, but then combining them and become a team and to make the thing work and to go for the direction that we want to go for, that you want to like go for. So it is tough, but this is the first version of the leaderships that we see when the team grow to a certain size.
Can I clarify? When you say conflict among the team, right? So what was the size of the team then?
Around 10 people, around 10 people at that time. So I have a sales team, I have a technical team, the product team, I have the operation team. Yeah. So I have like three heads of department. Not really head of departments, so they are like the leads for different functions.
Yeah. So probably just another questions might be a bit sensitive. So what do you think that contributed, to the conflict? I mean, I know that it happens right after where your startup have managed to secure the corporate investment, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you can imagine from a 10,000 startup, you suddenly inflated up probably in the scale of 6 digit, right? So is that where you think that the conflicts would have?
They all will ask for more resources. They want more resources for their own team. So and some of them they will say, oh, this head not doing their work. They will just start the blaming game. Like if he did not hit the target, say, oh, this is because of him lah. He did not do the work so that's why we are like this right now. So a lot of this blaming game like going on. So we have to like fix that issues lah. As a leader, everyone is finger pointing each other. Then what should we do? So this is some challenge that we were having that time, and it really tests my leadership skill to see how we can like resolve all these problems. Okay. Next slides. December 2019. So we won a contract with one of the Malaysia national car makers. What's next? A, go for a holiday and celebrate the small success. B, continue to work deliberately on the startup. C, publish it everywhere on newspaper, on social medias. A, B, C. Okay. So my decision was A. Actually go for a holiday.
Yeah, you need a break.
Yeah, I need a break. I really need a break. So I have a long time working. I didn't really have a break. So I go travel in Philippines for a week during my it's a Christmas time lah. When we won a contract, it's during Christmas. So I go to the Philippines to enjoy a bit for a week to relax myself.
Was it just you or your whole crew?
I don't know. Just me and my girlfriend that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. And my MBA mates that are staying in Philippines. So he became a tour guide lah. So I just go around. Yeah. February 2020. The conflict worsened. What's next? First, A, tear out the team. B, resolve the conflict and continue the business together. C, do nothing about the conflict. A, B, C. So finally what happened is A. So the team tear apart. So initially we have 4 people, four partners, now become just only 2 partners. So the team is actually tear apart. Yeah. So it's some sad thing that happened. The sad thing is it happened. Then I later got into a lot of these legal issues because we don't have a proper partnership agreement that was in place. So we cannot terminate them. In the legally, we have a lot of things that we have to deal with after that.
I think, in my opinion, the team would. I mean, you've already tried to resolve the conflict, and it hasn't gotten any better. So I think the problem would be the people themselves, and you can always get new people because this is your business. This is a huge risk. That when the team is in conflict, your money is also at risk.
Yes, because we cannot grow properly. It's just tearing apart, cannot. So we just want to focus better. So we just let's break apart and continue the business. Yeah.
So you managed to find a new team, and what
We
procedures
will
did you
grow.
have to take?
Eventually, we grow the new team. Now we have a new team. Yeah. The original team was dissolved. Then we get a new team. April 2020, MCO hits. What's next? A, quit the startup. B, get a mentor for help. C, get a business loan. A, B, C. So my decision was A. Was B. sorry, was B. So I joined a business group, a business networking group. So inside there, they have a lot of this like business owner like me. So they're also struggling. Everyone is struggling, not just me, but everyone is struggling. Like then we were talking how to resolve this together. So I realized that the importance of the support and the ecosystem to always make sure you are okay, and you have some caring from the others is very important as well. So you always alone, when you are doing startup, you always feel very alone. Then you just need some help. So we get a mentor to help. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to clarify on the point that when you say you are reaching out for like mentorship, right?
Yes,
I mean,
correct.
so would that be someone that you look up upon, like a life coach or something?
We actually engage a professional business networking group that assign a coach for me.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a professional service
Right.
to coach me on how to be better. Yeah.
Okay.
But just why not see? Was your business still in good
The
areas with your finances?
we money is one thing, but the most of the time money cannot solve the problem. So, for example, if if today you have the money, it just give you the runway. We call it the runway. Runway means every month you have expenses. Like for example, every month if you do a business, you have 100,000 keep burning every month. So the money just give you more months to live on. But still, if you are not changing the way of doing, you will just keep burning money until it dries up. Yeah. So the more important thing is you need someone to guide you mentally, like to change the way you do things. So you have a better way out besides just money. Of course, money is important, but then
Wisdom is more important. Wisdom. Yeah.
wisdom is even more important. Yeah. December 2020. I think the story is continue. It will be continue and go on and on. And I want to stop here, like in this December 2020. So you have walked through my life 5 years, like from 2015 from me as a student to 2020, like for me to be a startup entrepreneurs, like doing all these things. So I think the more um, the more important thing for you right now, I think, is the life lesson, what you can get from here. I can continue on my story, but then I think I want to pause it here and give you 5 life lessons that I've been learning throughout these startup journeys that I want to share with you. Lesson 1, understand the supply and demand of the market first and work out the business model. Don't rush it. Like sometimes as an engineer student, we feel very gung ho. We want to do something, we want to make it happen. All this thing. We are very executor. You want to like implement something right now, immediately. So don't rush it. It's not marriage. Um, some people say your mom will rush you to marry before 30 years old. I'm not too sure whether it happened to you or not. But then for business, don't rush it, because when you rush it, you just want to do it. You may do it wrongly. You don't know what to do, and you may fall into a trap that you think you are doing something like very good, but then it's just not a good business model to sustain you for long. It can fall into this kind of traps. So you might want to work out the business model, have people to discuss through all these things and see whether it works or not. Very, very important, understand the supply demand. Because when you understand the supply demand, you can make money better. Any comments?
Coming to the point that where you are saying understand the supply and demand of the market, right? So how do you identify, right? And
Like for example,
Yes.
during MCO, everyone need the mask. If you're selling mask that time, you're earning money. And that's the supply demand, the basic supply demand that we are talking about. But of course, in technology wise, the supply demand is more not that obvious. So you have to like go through a lot of iterations to make sure that you get the supply demand right. Else your product will not have the product market fit. When your product don't have the product market fit, nobody buying your product. Nobody buying your product means no money for you.
Yeah. So when you say product to market fit, right? So was there some sort of like a validation that you went through that you
We sell the product. If they buy, it means it's validated lah. If they're not buying, means it's not validated. This
Yeah.
product still starts. They need to improve.
Right. So basically, you are also getting the feedbacks, right? I mean,
Correct,
from
correct.
whatever your users basically,
Correct.
they feeding you the feedback, and you reiterate what your products and improve on them.
Correct.
Right.
Lesson 2 is not the end. Startup is not the end. It's a continuous process because you live as a person. You want to always upskill yourself, and when you upskill yourself, you become more capable to handle the business. Because sometimes you just need the business know-how, you need some practical experience. All these things you can get up somewhere else as well. Not directly jump into startup. You can also learn from your career. Then in the later stage, only you go back and start the business. So important thing is always upskill yourself. Always think how to improve yourself and to make yourself valuable for the society. I think this would be a good point. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Good. Okay. Next. Lesson 3, get a team, else you will burn out pretty fast. So you cannot, we call it the one leg kick. You cannot do one leg kick. So you cannot do everything yourself. Yeah, you have to like learn how to dedicate some of the work. You have to trust your team. You have to trust them to be able to do their job independently without you micromanaging it. So get a team and set a goal for them to work up together. I think that's the journey that we should go together with the team instead of be a lone wolf trying to do everything yourself. So if you hear these quotes before, right, like go far, go together. If you want to go fast, you go alone. Yeah. So you want to go far, you go together.
So can I then ask, right? So at which stage do you think GPS fleet is at the moment? Do you want to go fast, or you want
At
to?
the very initial stage when I'm alone, like the very initial the idling stage, I think that time it's better for you to do it yourself alone because you want to get everything sorted out pretty quickly. But then after that, you want to set up processes, and you already identified some of the things that you already know what's the selling point, all these things. So you want to like set up the processes for your team to execute for you. Then you can just grow better, and in the same time you have more breathing room for you to think about your business, not just on like in the business doing the execution part, but then more towards like on the business thinking on how we improve the business. Yeah.
Just to dwell on your GPS company and your product, how did you figure out that there was a need for the market in the very beginning? What did you have to go through research, or what triggered you?
We validate it. We do a market validation process. So what it means is we're trying to sell this thing. We go to the people that we think they need it, and we ask them opinion survey, and they did the purchase. So we know this is something they want it lah.
So your respondents, were they specifically from maybe university or?
No,
where were
it's
they
from industrial. Yeah, so you have to go up. No, not cannot stay in the comfort zone university. You have to go up and talk to people.
Okay.
So lesson 4, no one will be there for you forever. So learn to be able to afford to let go as well. So just now I said you start building our team, but then after you build our team, the team will leave you as well. So you have to think, you have to be able to appreciate the team will be there for you for a specific period of time. Like if you are doing internship, you'll be 3 months or 4 months. If you are doing like a full-time job, it can be a 2 years, 3 years, and 5 year things. If you're doing partnership, it can be go up to 10 years, 20 years. So, but then no one will be there forever. Yeah. So just have to learn to be able to pick it up and let it go in the same time. Like if you are in a relationship, I think you will understand this. So today you are in love, tomorrow you may break up, right? So you won't know when it happened. So you have to be able to pick it up and let it go.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go back to the previous
Yeah.
lesson because there's
Yeah.
a question from Nightmare that asks, "How do you keep your team? How do you prevent your team from actually burning
Oh
out?"
yeah, it's just lesson 4. So you don't think about that. You can motivate them, but then you don't think about that.
Okay.
If they are on the same path, same journey, same value, same mission, they will be there. Just trying to focus on the mission, and the right people will be there for you. But then you don't think to keep anyone in your company.
Okay.
Okay. Lesson 5. Always remind yourself what you are fighting for. What's your goal? And that is very important because sometimes we do, we start forget what we are doing. Like why I'm doing this, like why I'm doing this. Always ask yourself. Like when you feel very frustrated or you feel very sad, then you just ask yourself, why are you doing this? And sometimes you just do and you forget what you're doing. You just couldn't recall the purpose behind you doing this. You get into the habit, you get trapped into this. The last time you always do this, now you also want to do this. So you want to rethink why we are doing this. Is this useful? So that's some questions I always ask myself. So to remind myself, always do the meaningful thing that we think is meaningful for our companies. Any thoughts, questions?
Just to dwell on, what you are fighting for and the amount of effort that you put in by going to several pitching events. Just how many did you actually have to go to? Because it seems like you did mention that you went to quite a number of them. So therefore, meaning that not everyone accepted
Correct.
Your idea.
Correct.
So yeah, I guess the question is, how many did you go for? And um, yeah, I think let's start with that.
When I initially started, I think at that time I go for like 5 competition, at least 5 competition. That was the one that we made that we go in, and I do private pitching to corporates, like like at least 10 corporates that I pitch to, and it's like a sales process lah. It is like a, how to say you try to pick up the girls. Like I'm not too sure how they say it. Like it's like you try to talk to them and see to gauge their interest lah.
Fishing.
Fishing. Yes, that's the correct word. Yes, you go fishing for investor. Yeah, so it's the same process like you do in the pub. You just do it in the networking events with a lot of investors, potential investors, and all corporates. I see some question popping up just now. Is it right? Left chat there. Oh yes. What is this?
I think this relates to what I was actually
Yes.
mentioning. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we have addressed that question. So
Okay.
I suppose if we don't have any other questions from our live audience here in the auditorium, so with that, well, I just want to do a quick summary, right? So I personally liked it a lot. The points that you're sharing, right? Lesson 1 all the way to 5. I find it very meaningful, and it's something relevant and close to the heart of the student, right? Basically, what you went through from a student perspective, what you have been through, the people and the experience, and from there, how then based on the decisions that you have made and how you have arrived and reached to where you are right now. And I would like to, on that note, I do want to congratulate you, Michael. I think you are doing a great job. So as I said, and I've been sharing this quite a lot with the students here as well. Entrepreneurship is really a roller coaster ride, right? So you can be up high there, very happy, very excited. You got very excited, and like the fact that you secured some sort of investment or funding, and the next day probably you are just going down all the way to the trough, right?
Yes, correct.
And like you say, so there have been conflicts around, where you have to deal with people when the organization scale starts to to grow in size. There are other different aspects that you need to be able to cover, right? And I also would like to take a note that is that although we are already, you probably are already consider it quite a successful startup. So I guess the point that you're trying to share with us here is that never stop learning and keep on improving. I think that's a very good one. The fact that why I would like to raise that point is that, I mean, as and when, if we are staying plateau at a certain stage or juncture, and that is where we see that we are going through the trough, right? And I suppose yes, so it's a very interesting sessions that we have with you, and I would like to thank you for coming us and speak to us this evening. So is there a question from the audience? None? Right. Yeah, so we are good. So on that note, thank you for dialing in to Enterprise Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Before we end, um, just a quick commercial break. If Jerry would be able to assist me on pulling up the banner. Right. Right. So coming to that, right? So just a quick a promo outreach, I would say, to all of you who are still listening to Enterprise Wednesday. Just a shout here that we'll be organizing a startup weekend at APU, happening on the 5th to 7th August. So this time around, the startup weekend is jointly organized with 9 other participating universities from ASEAN, as well as a representative from South Africa as well. Now, you might have, some sort of business idea. You could be in your early days of, with APU, and you are not sure where do you want to start, where to begin, where to get support. Come and join the startup weekend, where in this program you will be learning about design thinking, where you can come in from this perspective, how would you want to develop the product or the services that you're trying to offer, right, through your startups. And in the second part of the startup weekend program, you would be learning on how to develop your business model through the step-by-step guide of business model canvas, whereby we have speakers from the SME associations coming in to share with you what does it mean when it comes to a real life business models that are able to sustain you, right, through your startup. And of course, last but not least, which is very important as well, is the storytelling and the pitching, which, as what Michael was saying earlier on, you just have to keep on pitching and pitch to your potential investor, right? And that's a crucial part of where you will need to learn and to go through. And I suppose that makes the key components of the startup weekend. So with that, I look forward to see many of the APU students here. If you have any questions related to the startup weekend program, please do reach out to us. Right. So maybe yes, I will pass the floor back to Michael. I think he has a small announcement.
So just bring up my slides. Okay, so we are hiring as well. So if you want to experience startups, so we have a very comfortable Soho environment for you. You can just scan the QR code and drop your information here. Our team will contact you. Thank you.
Okay. Right. I think the last part of it. So for all of you who have been dialing in, if you like to have a copy of the digital certificate, please do scan the QR code as what is shown on the screen right now. With that, I think that will be the very last time to say goodbye to all of you and have a good evening. Bye bye.